So, Phoenix Wrestling's first show that took place in the Kino in Cork. The music you're playing in the background is Billy Bedlam's new theme song.
I love it.
Which is
do you know the graphics? I love the graphics.
They're on YouTube, you know that?
What, his graphics?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Whoever did them up from, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So this is a remix of obviously the Cranberries' classic song Zombie. So to
be fair though, that wasn't my favourite song that I heard for an entrance music. My favourite was Flight Modes.
What was there? They did a classic.
It was a different version of Smash Mouth's song.
Hey now, you're a rockstar.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a class song.
But
yeah.
I don't know who sang their version that they had.
Oh, God knows.
But I loved the Smash Mouth one. And I was just singing along to that all the way down. I was actually disappointed when it ended.
We'll get onto it anyway, but well, first of all, we have to say, like, you know, like there's been obviously a lot of hype gone into Phoenix Wrestling. Like, Luke and Kieran have been working very hard to, like, and putting everything together. But did you expect the turnout they had?
Crazy, isn't it?
Like people refused at the door.
People were refused at the door, and I was sat actually close to the door, and the amount of people that like popped their head in to see what was going on.
Oh, really?
And then we're talking to the obviously the security guy in the door, asking if they could come in, and obviously being told no, you can't because it's full. Crazy.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
To the point where they had to readjust where the stage was by pushing the
there was a little
VIP
VIP
seats.
area there.
Yeah,
and
with
tables and everything.
It wasn't so VIP after that, was it?
Well, they still got their seat.
Yeah, true. So. Yeah, left like a good crowd, and they was like standing behind them, though. So, but it was a class event, though. Like so, it was Jay Money, Keane, Corporate Keane, and Tony Kelly introduced to the show. Shout out to Keane, obviously. I haven't heard him. I'm very curious to hear how he sounds in commentary, but knowing how he gets on.
I was listening to the free match, or watching, I should say, the free match that they put out on their YouTube.
Oh, they put up a free match?
Flight Mode against the More Than Hype.
Which is, oh, yes.
There, some people's match of the night, not mine, but look.
We'll get into it.
I was going to say, but yeah, they sounded really good.
Absolutely.
Keane was so cool. Do you think he was doing it for years?
That's the thing. And he's so.
And of course, Tony is experienced at doing this anyway. He knows the shtick.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I was talking to Keane, and I think he was like, he's so in awe about the whole thing. Like, you know, like even when I went home with him, Keane, and with him and Nathan, and he wouldn't shut up about it until we eventually went to sleep. So it was good. Anyway,
you did the day trip, didn't you? You went down and then got the bus back later on that night, didn't you?
Yeah, thankfully, like last time I took the bus from Cork, actually it wasn't for wrestling, it was for where my band played. And I went straight to the airport and go to town. So I had to take a taxi. Okay. So thankfully I had to be very clear. Listen, is this going to the city centre in Dublin?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay, Grant, in you go. So
was that your attempt at a Cork accent?
It was my attempt at a Cork accent.
That was
awful. I'm not supposed to be a man of accents. I'm not, you know this. We'll go on to the matches anyway. What?
Then why try them?
Because every time I try to do a Cork accent, I speak like this. I apologise to anyone from Cork.
That was better. Towards the end, that was better.
Thank you. There was only 3 words.
Work
from
on
that
it,
person.
you can get it. You can get it there eventually.
Love to hear yours. The Armstrongs against Collar and Elbow was the first match.
To do it.
I know. Excuse me, you did a few accents in this show. You can't deny that.
Oh no, I have, yeah.
Remember that Irish one you did before? Or Scottish one? Oh, there was a sailor one. Let me tell you about this whole past we did before.
What?
You did that before when you were explaining about how your great-great-grandfather wrestled someone.
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
It's on the bloopers.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure
it's somewhere in the archives.
The Armstrongs took on Collar and Elbow in the first match. Very funny altercations in this match, obviously. Like, the Armstrongs are so much fun to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They're really becoming. There's an argument that they're probably the best team in the country at the moment.
It's so hard to tell because there's so many great tag teams at the moment.
It's getting really good again, isn't it?
There's so many, and of course, as they were announced just yesterday, or was it today? Sorry, today, Friday.
Yeah.
Yesterday when you listen to the podcast, or the show.
Yep.
That they'll be taking part at Grapple Games next week.
Grapple Games
Yeah.
against the Enterprise.
Against the Enterprise, yeah. Really looking forward to that. That's going to be really good. Speaking of fantastic tag teams, and probably an underrated tag team, Enterprise.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. In terms of this match, though, Justy is hilarious as always, because there was times when I think he was he was almost surprised that he was over in the crowd, so. but at the same time, he was also.
Well, he was also. Well, he wasn't so much. See, the thing is.
He has his vicious streak as well, though.
Yeah, he definitely does. There was a big crowd from Dublin there as well.
There was.
And I think that sort of delved into sort of the cheering and who's supposed to be the face and who's supposed to be the heel, because I saw it was some very interesting booking.
Very interesting.
During the night.
The whole night.
And so.
Including this match.
Yeah.
Including this match, where obviously Justy and had his hilarious but vicious side as well at stages.
Even
I think
Alexander Dean getting involved in the funnies.
Of course, yeah.
Was it on his agenda to be funny in Cork? Was it?
I imagine it's in his list somewhere. I
said it to Sylvia,
right?
Because she was at Trinity Brawl as well.
Okay.
And I said to her, I would love, because if he wants to make Collar and Elbow the heel team, he needed to bring that line out about Michael Collins again.
Oh, but
he needed to.
I was almost half expecting it myself. If I'm honest.
It would have been brilliant.
Yeah, but probably been a riot though, because it's in Cork. I dare him. Listen, if you're listening, Dean, I dare you to say that line in Cork, but
it would have worked so well.
I don't think it's Armstrong's match either without a bit of nipple biting or nipple grabbing from Butch Armstrong. Nipple biting at one stage.
Nipple biting. Oh.
But anyway, the match ended when everyone was down. Everyone was down for in the match until Debbie Cattell came out.
Yeah.
In all black and chains, and tried to seduce Marion Armstrong before low blowing him.
Dark Debbie.
I like it. And it helps Justy get the win over Marion. P.S. The penis is still there. It's interesting. This is what we talked about. This is what you. I presume this is what you mean by the booking, in the sense that it's now a cliffhanger gone into the next show.
There was some fantastic, pardon the pun, hooks in this, not in just this match, but in a good few matches. That's the perfect thing that can get people to go to the next one to see what's going on. We'll get into the other ones later on, of course, but this was one of them too.
Absolutely.
Why, Deb? Why? And that's what I actually was talking during the intermission with Jay Money.
Right.
He was doing an Instagram live thing.
Yeah.
Really good idea.
Oh, were you in that Instagram?
I was in that I was chatting with Jay Money we were talking about that. And that's what we're both really interested to find out why. Why, Debbie? Why?
Why, Debbie? Why?
Why, Dark Debbie? Why?
Why, Dark Debbie? Anyway, LJ Cleary took on Steve Savage. This was actually a very good fast-paced match. Actually, I really enjoyed this.
Another interesting booking as well. LJ going back to more of heel LJ here.
And you almost forget how good he is as a heel as well, because he's more face almost everywhere at the moment, isn't he? But he's so good as a heel as well. That's where he really sunk his teeth into, before he's as not well known as he is now. Calling Cork and Limerick inbreds, for example. But it was a really good paced match. It ended with Savage winning by a sunset flip reversal. It was very back and forth. So it was a good match. And again, the Dublin crowd.
Steve Savage he should go back to Limerick to draw on people.
His Morton Hype compatriots Darren Carney and Nathan Martin took on Flight Mode in what a lot of people consider a match of the night.
Side note as well. Congrats to all three lads making their TNT Ignition, I think it was called, debut.
In Liverpool
during the week. The lads from Morton Hype were in a tag team match, and of course LJ Cleary was defending his.
He's a champion there, isn't he?
He's defending his the OGT gender neutral.
Oh, okay.
He was defending it against. Is it Sephora? I think the name was.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get the name up now in a second.
Well, while you're on that, we'll talk about this match between Flight Mode and Morton Hype, which a lot of fans could consider match of the night. Very innovative tag moves from both teams, especially Morton Hype. They must have had a 5-move sequence at one stage, I think, where it was I couldn't tell you move for move what it is, but it was a very fast move by some terrific high flying as well.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Matt Skyler is like a feather. He's literally a feather with like his tornado DDT, and his high flying is it's almost frightening to watch because like it's almost with no fear. I've never seen someone, or I can't remember someone who can
Visage.
Which is LG's apparent.
Yeah.
Well, I never seen. Can you name another high flyer who has the balance that he has to stay up on the top rope for as long as he has? Because it felt like forever until he eventually jumped off.
Oh, the Matt Skyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was crazy.
It was like it was mad to watch.
That was my first time seeing Flight Mode, and
really,
yeah,
only your first time. I've seen it a few
no,
times now.
I've seen them in battle royals and stuff. Never in like singles matches. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of what is to come from the lads that in the mode of flight. Axel
Jeffries is the other guy.
Flying matches and high flying with Matt Skyler and the guy called
Axel Jeffries.
Does
Axel Jeffries
they jump high?
You should have minutes.
I was waiting for you to stop.
Axel Jeffries, I noticed, to me, he has a whiff of Ryan's smile about him. Do you notice that yourself?
Say it again, sorry?
A whiff of Ryan's smile to him.
Little bit.
The way he moves, the way
Hopefully he
reacts.
knows how to use Twitter better than Ryan's smile.
We won't get to that. But in the end, it was more than Hype who won with their super kick, double hook, pile driver, double move, and respect was played by both teams. Very entertaining match. Listen, I think more than Hype, I'd love to see them in Dublin. They told me that's their goal. Like they want to be contenders soon, and there's a huge argument after seeing this match.
Keep having good matches there, and we obviously know that the guy in charge of contenders was there as well.
He was.
So, impress him, and then you probably get there. Like he went up to PWU, so they're obviously making waves. So give it a bit of time, lads, and I'm sure they will be there.
The fabulous Nicky had his talk show called In the Nick, where he interviews William, Bedlam's puppet. Again, we both love Bedlam's new music, by the way.
Yeah,
in the background there. J Money quoted this by saying, "I thought I had woods."
Yeah,
that's all you can say to that.
Sorry. Should I be laughing?
No, I suppose not. Bedlam ended up attacking Nicky, starting an improv 2 match. What?
I'm laughing.
Oh.
Sorry.
Is there something?
I'm in a very weird mood.
Is something in your monster or something like that?
I don't know what it is. I could be a little tired as well. I don't know. It's the first week in the new job, so getting myself used to getting up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that.
Let me see. You're like a penguin in the microwave right now. Anyway, standing moments.
What?
I'll explain later. It's figure speech.
How the hell do you even get a penguin in a microwave? You are not putting baby penguins in microwaves, Dave, are you?
No.
Fair enough.
It's a figure speech.
You better not.
Standing moments were like or standout moments where Nicky's stalling suplex and Bedlam's Rick Steiner tributes, where he did the headbutts on him. I think that Rick Steiner did something like that before. And it was funny when someone in the crowd shouted "Gabbo." I think someone after that said, everyone, what's the quote he says in the middle of it? Like, everyone is SOBs or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that was the quote, yeah. All the kids are all SOBs.
Yeah. That'll handle those SOBs. Yeah. It ended up with Nicky winning after a super kick, using William to pin him as well at the end of the match. It was announced after this match that on August 24th they'll be back in the Kino,
including a kiss to seal as well.
Oh, that's Nicky and Foxy.
Yeah.
It was announced on August for August 24th they'll be back in the Kino for "Oops, We Did It Again."
Great name.
Great name. Yeah. They had like a version of Britney Spears song as well in the background for that.
Dun, dun. Na 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 na. Dun, dun.
Is there alcohol in that monster, man?
Dun, na 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 na. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry.
Be Cool took on.
I've been away for 2 weeks. I've had all this pent up messing.
Be Cool and Team P. Rick took on the Wards in a 3-on-2 handicap match. Or it was more like, the thing is though, the Team P. Rick were almost like 2 people in one, because every time Be Cool's tag team both came in.
Yeah.
I think there's one stage. Just the funny parts of this match included where Peter, I think, was tangled on the mic at the start. Did you notice that? No, I think he tripped on the microphone or something like that. It was tangled around like a snake. Yeah. And then obviously Be Cool being Ric Flair.
Yeah. That was good.
I spent
a lot of the time at the bar for this match.
Oh, you were telling me about this, yeah.
waiting in line, because a lot of people got drinks at the same time. It was my own fault for getting up at that time.
Okay.
But I was chatting to a few people during the match.
Right.
And I have to give a shout out to Fiacre, because he says he's a keen listener to the show.
Cool.
And I didn't know he'd reach as far as Cork, but that's always good to know.
We have a few listeners in Cork, I think.
I know. I think all our listeners know Cork.
No, I don't think so. but a nice portion of it.
We'll have a few from Limerick after September.
We'll get into that now.
So shout out Fiacre. Thanks for listening to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fiacre.
Continue to listen and watch, and hopefully, we will be able to continue going to the Phoenix shows, so we can do in-person reviews.
Moments of the match anyway, going back to the Be Cool team, Peter Rick in the Wards match. Moments of the match included Peter being gorilla press out of the ring by Luther Wards.
Yeah.
Peter Rick being holding on to Power Ward's legs. I've never seen Power Ward wrestle actually until
neither have I.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to the main stage wrestling show the week before. I was speaking to Gunter Isaac, and I was a bit apologetic. I'm like, sure, don't worry about it. So. And also had there's also Luther's superplex from the apron as well.
Yeah, that, and I think him doing a suicide dive was crazy.
Yeah,
I think that was the moment of the match for me. And then clearing absolutely everybody. Everybody. First, 6 rows.
It was so funny when Be Cool then went sent. Oh, okay, you can't see my face. Luther kicked out of Be Cool's brainbuster before Wards won after pinning Peter after a power slam / neckbreaker for the win in that one. Next match was Valkyrie versus Raven Creed. This was a very solid match.
Yes, it was.
This was actually, I really enjoyed this match. This was like Raven is as vicious as he always is. Like solid chops from both ladies as well, and some really terrific altercations between them as well. Like these two are like it's like Raven is one of these wrestlers who can probably have a good match with anybody now. Yeah. But I think her matches, especially with Debbie and Valkyrie, are the ones that really stand out. Like, you know.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're getting into, like, these girls are getting to know each other so well that they're having these fantastic.
They already
matches,
know each other so well.
With the likes of Debbie and Valkyrie training together too. But Raven is just on another level.
That's it.
On another level at this stage, and she's getting the recognition now up north. She's getting it obviously in Dublin, being on the contender shows and on the main shows as well, of course. And she's involved in the WrestleRama show, isn't he? In the 6-woman tag match. What team is she? Is she on? She's on Debbie's and Valkyrie's team.
That's
isn't
it.
She? Yeah.
It's the newbies. It's the
newbies against the established.
That's it. If you like, so the contenders against the main rosters, if you like. So. Raven won after countering Valkyrie's flip elbow into a nutbreaker. That was a very good finish for that match, wasn't it? So that match was a
backbreaker.
Yeah, no, that's called a nutcracker. Sorry, the nutcracker was that's how Kalito used it was a cold breaker on the back instead. So that match was a personal favorite for me though. So I really enjoyed that. We talked about the Mae Young Classic actually at the start of the show. If there's any woman from Ireland, I think it'd be Raven Creed. That could be in that tournament. I'm just saying, if there's any woman I'd pick, it'd be her.
I'd love to see it. If there was any woman, realistically, and she wasn't there on Saturday, but you'd have to think it'd probably be Katie.
Maybe. Yeah, I can see what you mean, yeah. The main events then. Michael May, Bruiser, Ricky Combat and Terry Thatcher. This was a very, very good main event.
The iconic JR, it was a slobber knocker.
And match of the night, which the main event should be.
Yeah, I think so.
Brilliant match. Started off with a 4-way headlock. And then...
But then, like, I think it was at stages, like, each person took a turn being at the front. Wasn't it? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. The Terry Thatcher does his thing. Like, he sells his heart out.
Yeah.
Like that backdrop, for example. Where he, like, it looks like he was literally going to hit his head against the canvas. And being suplexed to the floor then, I think it was...
Being suplexed, and that floor had no protection.
Nothing at all. I told him this as well, and I told a few people who was watching it with. Terry Thatcher reminds me of, you remember Mikey Riprack from ECW?
Yeah.
Now, Mikey Riprack, when he started in ECW, he had no offensive. Well, he had no offensive moves. I'm not saying Terry's like that, but every time he took a beating, you feel so sorry for him.
Yeah.
Especially with all the chops he takes, like, you know.
Exactly. You just see the chest well up, and then you just like, oh my god.
And it's often enough now. It happens now. So
Yeah.
So it's like, ugh. So some very good high flying, like from May especially, who's very good heel, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen Michael May as a heel before. Like he does it in PW, but
yeah, does it in PW. I've never seen it before. Yeah. Well, he started to turn a little bit heel there at the end of like episode 5.
Yeah.
So.
Highlights of the match though were the triple submission, where Terry Thatcher had the sharpshooter on Combat, May had the octopus stretch on Thatcher, and then Bruiser had a sleeper on May. So like, and they had Bruiser's chops, which were and the scrap that Terry and Butcher had, who would go all the way back for their IWW days.
Yeah.
The Frankensteiners, Pile Drivers, and Combat's Danielson special on May, stopped by Terry Thatcher Splash, like just stuff like that, where like I've never seen a Daniel Splash from anybody in God knows how long. That's a very rare submission. That was Daniel Bryan's submission during his Ring of Honor days. The match was won then by the neck breaker for Terry Thatcher on Combat. After the match, all 4 men had a beer together, with Terry acknowledging everyone in the ring. Then Ricky smashed his...
No, not everyone together. No, wasn't everyone together. Michael May was thrown out of the ring by everyone.
Oh, yeah. It's like, no, I don't want your beer. So, sorry, all 4 men. So it was 3 men then with Jay Money as well, I think I meant by that. And he acknowledged, obviously, his, like, him and Terry, him and Bruiser have known each other for years. I acknowledged Ricky Combat because he doesn't know much about him, but he respects him. And as soon as he says that, one more thing, bang! Ricky hits his beer bottle to Terry's head in a very shocking heel turn. Yeah. Very shocking.
Well, it wasn't shocking for me.
Why is that?
Because I remember, and I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but I was at when we were at one of the CCW shows before.
Right.
I was talking to some of the guys, and they were like Ricky needs to turn heel. And I think that's what he's needed for ages. And I think now that he's going to be heel, I think he is just going to soar now.
I think you're right.
I think exactly what he needed.
Because the heat he got from it as well.
I know. Unbelievable.
Because think about it as well. We haven't really seen Ricky Combat wrestle outside of Cork.
No.
This could be
and I don't know why. I really don't know why. He's definitely talented enough to do it.
Oh, definitely.
And like even up north, he could. They're kind of more tag team focused at the moment, but beforehand, I don't know why they haven't. But
at the moment, at this moment in time, there anyway. So
I don't know why. Like there's Uprising there now as well. I'd love to see him involved in something down here in Dublin.
Absolutely.
You know.
But again, that's another match that's a cliffhanger going to the next show.
It's the hook. It's the hook to keep you interested. And we'll probably get some sort of promo leading up to it to find out why. Or maybe a promo at it.
It makes more sense to do a promo at it rather than beforehand. It really does.
To find out why. And it's good because you've already now, by doing this, you've already put him in a main event slot. And probably as the front runner for whenever you decide to bring a title in.
Which I imagine won't be too far away.
Exactly.
But anyway, overall, this show, for me, was class from top to bottom.
It was a fantastic start.
Like, here's the thing.
I've never been, you think that, because it's in a sort of not strange place, because Cork is quite secluded.
Not really.
It is a little bit.
No, I disagree with you. But look,
in terms of...
It's a big enough city. It's not compared, like, it's small compared to Dublin, but it's still a nice little town.
Like, I'm trying, it hasn't got that following like Dublin has. But I think the fact that he put on such a good show is going to get not only the people in Cork wanting to keep going to it, but it's going to get people like from Dublin wanting to go down to it now.
It's going to be so much easier for them to sell tickets, that's for sure. Anyway, so here's the thing: I was talking to Alexander Dean after the show, and I was saying to him, I can't fault anything from the show. I'm like, Dave, come on, there has to be something. I'm like, I can't. I really can't. I can fault you if you want, but like, I can't fault anything.
I can think of one.
What's that? So you're about to do this tonight. I'm too positive about this stuff.
You just don't want to upset anyone, do you?
Not even. Well, to be fair, like I'll call it as I see it, but I just can't find this time.
I think like these things are totally understandable because it's their first show,
right.
So it's not anything to be upset by. It's not anything to point out saying they need to fix this soon because they probably know themselves.
Right.
I feel that the seating kind of hampered
That's
in
fair
terms
enough.
of it's a very small venue and they wanted to fit as many people in as possible. Certain sections you could have seated in, like, you know where I was sitting on the hard camera side.
Right.
If you got rid of those seats, put up some barriers and had just standing there,
right,
you could have fit so much more people in. Keep the seats where they were on the other three sides.
Mm-hmm.
I think would have been absolutely fine. But I think you could have fit more people in standing at that side.
Well, I think they didn't realise how big of a big crowd was going to come in.
These are if I'm looking for something to criticise.
Yes.
And it's their first show. They didn't know if they want... Because I remember they were saying on their own social media that they didn't know if they were actually going to have seating yet or not. So obviously that would have been either on the day or on the week of it that they decided, right, we're going to put seating in.
I was a bit surprised they had seating, actually. Don't know about yourself.
I'm not surprised that they had seating. I'm surprised that they had all seating.
Yeah, okay.
Then there was... This is totally out of their control as well. It was just some issues with the bar as well. Just in terms of there was very long lines. People didn't understand where the line was, so there was people cutting and there was a lot. Like, that's nothing to do with Phoenix. That's not their fault. It seems as though the pumps on the bars were quite slow as well because the points were crawling out. They were.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, not their problem.
In terms of the wrestling, though.
In terms of the show put on itself, in terms of apart from the little problem with the mic at the start, but look, don't even care about that. Forget about it. In terms of the show, the spectacle that we were watching, can't fault anything.
Very entertaining action, like the more than hype and flight mode, Raven and Valkyrie and the main events were the highlights. Clever but simple booking.
Irish as well.
It was.
That's it's all Irish. Not crazy at all. It's not. I was going to say that's the crazy thing, but it's not crazy at all.
It shouldn't be.
It's not
because Irish wrestling's in such a boom right now. Crazy but simple, clever but simple booking made us leave us wanting more for their next show on August 24th, especially with Debbie Cattell attacking Marion and the Ricky Combat heel turn. So I can't wait for the next show. I really can't.
Yeah.
So kudos to Phoenix. So well done for that. So
you get a Dave applause.
Dave applause.
You get a Dave applause.
That's my version of Mars bars, I feel like. I
Dave applause.
Dave applause.